Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today what I'm going to do is update the previous Discord mod tutorial to the Discord.js version 14. And thanks to the user DLolMonster3D for letting me know about this. I didn't know that Discord.js got an update. So thanks, man. As soon as I read your comment, I tried to read out the documentation to see what was going on because the bot was connecting to the server but wasn't doing anything from that. So just some options for you. The first one, if you're following the tutorial, do not update anything using at latest. Try to use the version number, the fixed version number. For example, 3.0.0 or I don't know, 12.1.3, something like that, instead of at latest. If you go beyond version 13, you will have to update all your dependencies, uh, install the 16.04 version of Node or higher. I think it's higher than version 16, and update the source code. But if you don't plan to do that for the moment, try to use a version that's lower than version 14 and previous versions of Discord.js, Discord.js voice, and the other dependencies. All that's before version 14 of Discord.js so that the tutorial of the bot can work for you. But if you can't do that, or you have already installed dependencies using at latest, follow this tutorial, update all your dependencies, um, change the source code implementation, and you'll be fine. All right. So before I start with this, if this is your first time in my channel, please consider leaving a like, watching any other video, or subscribing. That really helps me out to keep doing this content, and hopefully it will be entertaining and useful for you. All right, let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is, of course, show you what to do with the dependencies. The first thing that you want to do is go to your control panel and here find your Node.js installation. Here you can see that I have version 18. That's because I have already uninstalled my previous version, installed the newest stable version, and what you want to do here is simply uninstall your previous Node version. Once you have done that, you go to the Node.js page and you download the recommended version. This is like the stable version, and this is the latest version. So please use the stable version, all right? Download it and install it. That's pretty straightforward. Now, once you have done that, what you want to do is go to your Discord bot folder and here copy this address, open a command line, remember Windows R, navigate to this path, and remember that you have a folder that's named source files. Go inside of that folder and update npm using npm update. Just simply to do that. And once that's finished, you are set up to update all of your dependencies, right? What dependencies I'm talking about? You have a package.json file, and inside of that file, you have all the names of the packages that your application uses. So what you want to do is, of course, update each of them, right? I'm just waiting for this to finish. I don't want to interfere. This is going to update all your packages and you will be ready to start changing the source code. All right. I'm just going to show you each command because this is going to take a lot if I do it like this. All right. I'm going to minimize it. I'm going to show you this here. There you have all the dependencies. You have Discord.js Opus, Voice, and Discord.js. This is the major one. Just you can see that it says 14.6 and requires Node 16 or higher. That's what I remember. So what you simply are going to do is go to your terminal again and say, hey, npm uh, install again, for example, Discord.js at latest. Now you want at latest, yes. For the moment, at latest is fine. In the future, when time passes, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, and this tutorial is outdated, again, you want to use a version number. For example, let's say 14.6.0, for example. Yes, you may have to find out which version is the correct version for you. That will be the most difficult thing to do. But for now, at latest is fine. All right? That's for every single dependency. For the FFmpeg, static, and fluent, you can leave them like that, no problem at all. But for the Opus, Voice, Discord, and yeah, Lipsodium also, you can leave them like that. But for these three dependencies, please install the latest version. Okay? All right. Simple. That's really simple. Okay. Once that is done, I'm going to minimize this again. You want to take a look um, at your bot permissions, right? You remember that the first time that you created your application, in this case your bot, you had to give it permissions. You had to go to the application, your application name, then go to what says URL generator, where you activate some boxes and permissions start adding to a URL. Something that looks like this. Here you have the scopes permission. You will have to pick, well, to activate the bot scope and the application's commands. These are the slash commands, okay? And when you have that ready, you go to the permissions, right? This enables automatically when you tick the bot option. Now you have general permissions. In my case, I said, all right, what are the permissions that I'm going to give my bot again? Read messages, yeah, no problem. Then for the text permissions, I have sent messages. I have managed messages. Maybe I want to do something in the future. Okay, no problem. And I have the use of slash commands, all right? That's just for future usage. You can consider to activate them or not. Then I have voice permissions because I want the bot to be able to connect to voice channels and of course to speak, right? Again, I have bot and application commands in scopes, and in bot permissions I have general permissions like read messages, view channels, for text permissions, send messages, manage messages, use slash commands, and for voice permissions, connect and speak. That's all. And once you have selected all of this, at the bottom of the page, there is a URL. You just have to copy that URL, paste it in a new window if you want, navigate to that link, authenticate with your username or your username, your password, and grant permissions to the bot. Okay? Now be aware of this. When you go to your server, the bot's still there, but is offline. Before you grant him permissions again, right-click and kick it so you can invite him again with new permissions. Okay? Simple. All right. I'm going to close this thing. I don't need it anymore. I don't need this anymore. Now, if you're curious, I don't need this anymore. This is the Discord developer portal. Remember, you have to log in here. I'm going to close this. If you want to dig deeper into the documentation, you can go to the npm Discord.js page, go to this links section and go to documentation. That's going to open this. You will see something like this. And here, you scroll down, you have more links. Here, instead of going through documentation, you go to update guide. That's what's here. And here you have a brief explanation of what I was telling you. It says the requirement, all right? It's 16.9. And here you have everything to start again with your bot in case that you have doubts or in case that you want to know what can I do beyond this tutorial. And you have here all of these sections for the documentation for you to use, to consult, right? That's what I did. I didn't know what happened. Okay, I started reading and then I realized, oh my God, this changed. All right, now it works. It does the same, but it works kind of different. Yeah, whatever. And then I said, what if I wanted to make my bot from scratch? So I started here, you see, and it says all the prerequisites or preparations, installing nodes, setting a linter, and so on. Then creating the bot, using slash commands, interactions, topics, all of this. You can go there. I'm just telling you this because you have to read. If you don't read, then you're lost. Yeah? What if you want to make something special? You want to make your bot outstand from the others. This is where you find that, where you get those answers. And of course, if you have doubts, you can go and search here whatever you want, right? Don't stop yourself. Don't limit yourself. Go beyond. I know this isn't easy. I know it. I really know it. But if you don't try it, you won't know. All right? Just simply just go and read it. You can read everything, but go step by step, step by step. I'm just telling you this to cheer you up. Maybe you're struggling with this or with any other thing, but just don't give up. Just keep pushing, right? This is for you. It's here for you. All right, enough of that. Let's go back. I'm gonna close this. This isn't needed anymore for me at the moment. Well, um, I'm going to show you how I updated my source code. Here, let me just make this bigger. Here I have the new version, and this was like the previous version. I'm going to close this because this isn't relevant now. What is relevant is this, and I'm gonna try to break it down because it's kind of long. I'm going to open it. No, leave it like that. All right, here we have some changes. No, yeah, I'm going to open it in a new window. Well, yeah, a new instance to show you what's going on. Just like a brief example, right? I'm going to open the previous version. I have it separated here. I have a mess. Yeah, I know, but it's my mess. I know what's going on here. Here, look. From the documentation, you have to do some changes here. But what's significant is the intents here. Notice how the intents were created before. You were using some flags and some enums. But now you have something different. You have events, collection, gateway, intent bits. This is new. Those are required from Discord.js now. And down or below you have guilds. That's the same thing, but now it's uh, not all in uppercase. Then you have guild messages. And finally, you have guild voice states. If this is omitted, your bot won't play anything, won't make a sound. Alright? Just don't forget it. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the whole thing. I'm just trying to show you what changed so you can briefly look at it. Then after that, I got some more requires here. Here you have commands because now you're going to use /commands. And you remember that the previous version used some uh, predefined commands and a prefix of your preference. Now everything starts with a slash and it has a name. Okay? That's what you're doing here. You have to define a folder here, commands. I'm going to show you over here inside of source files. I have commands, and inside of commands I have my commands. I have play, I have skip, and I have stop. Oh, sorry. That's just what I need. And what I'm doing here is simply defining the folder, where to look for them, then filter all the files that are there, the start, skip, and stop, and then simply load them to this commands property. And then we have our previous dependencies, Discord.js voice, that's all. But now, when the bot first connects, we have a different way of referring to the event. We have a client ready. And it's kind of the same, right? I mean, looks almost the same, but it's different. And here we have a listener that's called interactions. And here is when you request the slash command. And here the slash command is compared against the commands that you have inside of your commands folder. And if that command does not exist, then this happens. But if it exists, then it continues. And instead of having all of those checks like I had before, now I don't. Now I don't check for the content of the messages and see what is the prefix of the message. Now the slash command does that for me. And that's fine. Notice here how I access to the channel, to the guild, to the adapter creator, but using interaction instead of the message. It's almost the same, but this change is like unnoticeable if you don't read the documentation, right? You may be like, oh yes, that makes sense. Yeah, but now it makes sense, but before it didn't, right? And almost the other dependencies for the player and um, the connection were almost the same. And from here, what you do is simply execute uh, in an await function your command, or well, a synchronous function. And here you specify the parameters that your function requires to work. This is up to you. The minimum parameter is simply the interaction that triggered this behavior. That's all. All right? That's the major change. And instead of having these functions all written in a single file, well, yeah, most of them, I have them in different files, separated, like modules or something like that. Just parts of it, parts of code. That's all. It's not that sophisticated. But yeah, that's the main change. Now I'm going to open here. I think I have them in the other. Yeah, I have them here. I'm going to return this back. I hope I can do that. Yeah, go here. Nice. And I'm going to show you full screen. So here you can easily see it until line 30. I'm going to wait for some seconds so you can pause it or whatever you want. There you go. I'm going from 30 to the end. And this is all. This is just the code for your bot. Remember that you had a bot.js or something, or like in the tutorial, this is your index. This is all. Now let's talk about the play function. All right. So for each function, you will need to import slash command builder. And because I'm using Discord.js voice, I have create audio resource here, and I have there from my config.json. Remember that inside of your config.json you have what were the previous commands defined for your bot using your prefix, the name of your play command, or all the commands that you put in there. I get rid of all of them, the prefix and the commands. I think I can show you this to you, no problem. I'm going to blur um, my bot token, no problem at all. Getting ready for that. Here. Now what I only have is client ID with I in uppercase. I have guild ID with I in uppercase. I have token all in lowercase, and I have their lowercase. Remember, this is the folder that you are where you are storing your other folders that contain audio files. The token is your bot token, right? In the previous tutorial, this hasn't changed. The token still can be retrieved the same way. You just have to be sure to put it in here. Then we have the guild ID. That's your server ID. How do you get that? You go to your Discord server and make sure to have enabled developer mode. You can go here. I think these are settings, server settings. You go to where it is. Let me check. I don't remember at all what it was. Oh no, it's here. User settings. You have something like appearance. It was here. I don't remember. Or advanced. Advanced. Yeah, it's advanced. You have developer mode. You have to enable it in order to see the IDs of your server and of your bot, right? Okay, again, user settings, advanced, enable, oh, sorry, developer mode. Once enabled, right click on the name of your server that's here. This is like the same, right? But for some reason it's not showing there. Right click here at the icon that shows the initials of your server and you have the ID. It's not showing it, just simply copy that. Once you copy that, go back, paste it. And you do the same for the client ID. But the client ID is not your client ID. It's the ID of your bot. Right click your bot, copy ID, and you paste it here. And that's all. All right? Fine. I'm going to close this. So we were reviewing the play.js file. That's what gets loaded here. After that, I have these variables. I'm using all of these variables in order to be able to play audio files and to skip audio files. All right. If you think that they are too much, you can tweak the source code, no problem. I'm going to leave it like that for some seconds. If you want to copy something, then I'm going to go to the module exports. That's where the definition of the slash command happens. Going down a bit here, module exports. You're creating a new instance of slash command builder. Here you have to give your slash command a name, a description, a brief description, and then you have something that's called, let's say, choices or options. Options is the correct way. So here, to make it simple for you, I chose a string option. And what this does is show you a list of available options for you to choose. And in this case, the name of these options said audio folder selection. You can infer where this is going. I have a description like the previous one. I have here the set max length. This is the number of characters I don't want like 2000 or something. I don't want you to put in there some source code or something. No, no, no. You can even reduce this. I don't know, 200, 100, or check what's the longest path to your folder with the longest path of your audio file name and sum it up, and you can put the result in there. Maybe 250 something. You put that in there. Then you have set required. Is this option required for the command to be executed? If yes, you set it true. If not, well, you simply remove this, right? And here you add your choices. I'm going to show you why my choices are the ones that you're seeing here. Going back to my music folder, it's somewhere in here, here. Oh yeah, it doesn't show the path. Okay, look here. So I have my music folder. This is my root folder. For this tutorial, I'm storing the audio files in here, and I'm storing them inside of what I call a parent folder. It could be any of those, and what's a child folder that's inside of it, right? Now, this child folder is the folder that stores the audio files that I have. It could be 100, doesn't matter. What matters is from my music folder um, forward, I only have the name of the parent folder and the name of the child folder. That's what I'm indicating in my choices. Name is simply a label. For example, you can change this. I put audio 1 in there. You can put, I don't know, your favorite music genre or your mood or whatever. You can even put number 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, cake, I don't know, strawberry, whatever. But what's important here is the value. And notice here, they are written in lowercase. They have some specific rules. You can't place capital letters in there or some weird characters. You have to use letters, all right? And numbers maybe. You can use underscores and hyphens, right? Or minus sign, whatever you want to call it. This or this is valid. And here I have parent folder, that's the name of the folder. The value, it doesn't matter if it has uppercase or lowercase, it's fine. But for the name, it can be only lowercase and numbers, right? And here, because I'm using two separate folders, I'm simply joining them using underscore. I could have done this using hyphen or minus sign, like that, right? So if you have more folders here in your root folder, mine is music, let's say that you have 10 folders in here, then your choices can add up to, to 10 here. So you may have something like this. You simply add more in here. That's all. This is one way to do it. You can do it differently. For example, this looks like a map function. You have a key name, and you have a value, right? That's like a more sophisticated way of doing it. But for this tutorial to be comprehensive, I did it this way. It's easier. Of course, when this grows with time, it's more difficult to maintain. Yes, at some point this must be changed, but for now that's fine. This is just for um, giving you an example. Okay. Then you have the async function. every slash command now has an async function. And it's like the previous one, the one that I have in the version 13, but now it's inside of this module exports, right? And here, oh sorry, well, I'm going to leave it like that for some seconds. We're going to continue from here. All right. We have async execute. We have our parameters. I have the interaction. I have file system, path, and the player, the audio player, not the other. Sorry. Now, because these specific commands shows some choices to work, I have this selection. Selection is your choice, and you access like this because it's a string selection, a string choice, and you read it. Here you have to be careful. The name that you gave to your option is the name that you're going to put in here. For example, if here you did audio like that, here you have to put audio like that. All right. It must be consistent, otherwise it won't work. So continuing with this, here I have just some validations. Every time a command is executed, you have the option to reply to reply to that comment, yeah, to that slash command. If you don't reply to that command, you will be facing errors like Cat did. So you reply once and then you can follow up a previous reply. You can also delete a previous reply. But the way it worked for me was like this. Here what I'm doing is simply separating if it's the play command, simply play all the files. But if this is the skip command, then I have to do something different for it to work. Okay, so this is the async execute function. This is just like half of it. Some seconds there. Now I'm going to scroll down. Then I have more validations. Here is where the code of the previous version searches for the files, joins the paths together, then lists only audio files, fills the playlist, and finally splits them so I can access one by one, like in a list, right? Once that is done, I'm going to leave it like that for some seconds. I have to play it, actually. I have some validations in here for it to not die when I use the skip command. And well, yeah, of course, catch errors in case of anything happening. This wasn't handled properly in the previous version. I recognize it. I forgot, sorry. And here you can notice that I have a play function. This play function somehow is in charge of processing the slash command parameters and actually play the audio file. Here I go to that function and you can see the parameters in here. I make a quick validation, playlist not empty or something like that. You can do it differently. And I simply write to a file. to be able to skip songs because the options that were available for me were not the like convincing me. So yeah, I'm reading to a file, then reading from the file, reading from the file. That's not bad. And simply play each of the files. This is the same explanation as in the previous version. I'm just letting you know how it um, ended up, right? Some seconds in there, going down. There. This is the same behavior as in the previous version. The same. The only thing that changed is the interaction and the other parameters. That's all. All right. This was the play function. This is the most complicated function here. I have some changes here. Oh yeah, that like normal. Now I'm going to the skip function. The skip function does something really similar to the previous function. In this case, I simply added the slash command builder, some variables here to handle the behavior of the skip function. Again, I have module exports. This is a shorter one, don't worry. And again, an instance of slash command builder, a name, a description, the async execute function to be able to execute the slash command, the behavior of the slash command. And here what I did was maybe I hope this is fine as I'm going to explain it. Calling the play slash command from the skip command. That's why you see here interaction.client.commands.get instead of getting the skip command as in the play command here. Oh, sorry, this is not, is this one here. Instead of getting the actual, no, the command that it's getting executed at this moment, like this, interaction command name, this is only getting you a string with the name of the command. I'm indicating the name of the command, right? I want to execute the play command. Okay. Then it gets checked. If it exists, then it's executed and I have the behavior for the skip command. Here I read the file, update some values, make some validations, and I have the interaction follow up because I previously have a reply. So I don't break anything. And execute that command, the play command, right? So when I get back, instead of doing this from start, it comes here to the execute function with these parameters and it checks. Is the first time? Of course not, right? Because what makes those commands different is the selection. When you execute the play command, it asks you to pick up one of the options, the string options, you remember, all of your folders, right? But in this case, it's not coming from executing the play command. It's coming from executing the skip command. And the skip command does not have options, right? So I had to save the options that were selected previously inside of this file. And once loaded, I could keep calling the play command without having to select anything. Okay, That's why I have this piece of code in here to do that, to simulate that I was executing the play command again, right? And well, yeah, that's all for this command. I'm going to show you here some seconds. I'm going to put this here, 32, going down, some seconds, that's all. So the same thing happens for this top command. This is the easiest one. Again, the slash command builder, the name, description, the async execute, a reply, the body. Here I stop the player. I set it to null so it can be garbage collected in the future, and a follow up. It's like a message. And that's all. Here you have the source code updated with what I expect to be a brief and understandable explanation of what I did. Okay? At the end, the vars file, the only thing that it does is store the index of the playlist that was of the song that was playing, the selection, that means the folders that were selected, and the audio files. And I think I'm missing another parameter. The actual playlist, yeah. But that's all. Now, how do you execute it? Let's go back to the terminal, and I'm going to show you what happens. Oh yeah, sorry. Mm, mm, I'm missing something here. Yeah, I just saw it. I have this deployCommands file, and this is the how the commands that you created get deployed. I'm going to open this file. I was missing this one. So once that you have done all the changes to the source code and defined your own functions or commands, you have to deploy them. And to deploy them, you create a file, no matter the name. This is just a descriptive name, deployCommands. So what this does is load the rest and routes from the Discord.js. From your config.json file, do you remember that I explained the client ID, the guild ID, and the token? These are going to be used to let your bot know that he can perform these commands. And finally, a node file system. Here I have a list of commands, of course. Then I have to somehow fetch the commands that were defined. The play command, the skip command, and the stop command. And I do that by reading the commands folder. And the commands folder is stored inside of source files. That's why this is like this. Dot, I think it's / commands, right? Dot filter, and you filter only the files that are .js. And the only files that I have in there have JS and a txt file. This is going to be ignored, right? After that, I simply iterate them, and what I do is require each of the files. It's like doing require Discord.js, but instead of Discord.js, you have play.js, then you have skip.js and stop.js. And you simply push them to your list. Okay? And with the REST module, you simply instantiate this like the documentation tells you. and you set the token, right? Your bot token. And finally, you have this async function. So when you execute this file, what it does is uh, load up all the commands available in your commands folder and tell your bot that these commands can be executed by him inside of your server, your guild, right? And here you have commands. Finally, it tells you that the commands have been refreshed or loaded, and it exits, right? So now we can go to the terminal and tell him, Node, deploy my commands. You're going to deploy your commands, and it's going to show you the refresh thing in here. You see, once that's ready, you can execute your bot. Remember to execute the modified version. All right, pay attention to that. Here you can see that the bot is not running. I'm going to execute it. There it goes. I'm expecting to see bot online. That's it. I'm going to get this, maybe 14 is fine. My volume, and I'm going to be quiet so that you can hear. Now, here I'm going to type slash, and you can see that the commands are available. I've already been using them, but in case you don't see this, you will see your bot and the commands that he is able to execute. I'm going to start with the play command. I'm going to type play, and here it says the name of the command, the name that it has, the name that I defined for it, and a brief description. I can select it or press enter, sorry. You press enter and it's going to show you the options that you put in there, remember? And what you have to do is simply select one of them. I'm going to select one. And this is how the command is going to be executed. You simply have to press enter or enter, whatever, and the command is going to be executed. So I have my bot online.
Charger! Charger!
Let's go.
You can hear that the bot is playing. It didn't start playing at the same instant because somehow my console freezed. So I had to press any button. So I'm going to stop it and execute it again. As you can see, it stopped. Going back, nothing happening here. I'm going to finish the process, clean this. I'm going to execute it again. Right? I'm just going to wait for it to free the connection or completely disconnect. I'm going to disconnect it. In the meantime, I'm going to clone my channel, create it. I like to do this because I don't have to delete messages or something. This is easier for me. Just a couple clicks. Fine. So as I told you before, I'm not entirely sure why this happens. Sometimes it freezes, but it's working. I just have to find a way to keep this like at the top, like I'm going to do right now. Hopefully it won't take long to start playing the audio file. Just waiting for it to disconnect. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but this time using the skip command. Deploy my commands again. Execute the bot. Maybe it's because I'm recording. I'm going to tell him, hey, play something.
Charger! Charger!
Skipping.
Let's go.
Charger! Charger!
Same thing. I'm going to skip until it's the last file. Oh, here something happened. Whoa, what happened? Unknown interaction. Are you serious? Whoa. This didn't happen when I was testing. Insane. I tested it like for 30 minutes and now this is happening right when I'm recording it. Man, that's bad luck. Anyways, I'm going to do it again and I'm going to close what I'm not using at the moment so I can free up some memory or whatever. As I told you, this computer isn't at its best. Come on, come on. Nice.
Charger! 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 Charger!
Showing like a warning. If you go beyond the max number of audio files that they will play, this will stop playing.
Let's go.
So that's what I'm going to show you here. And it stopped. No more audio being played. But it's still alive, alright? It's not dead or something. So I'm going to play again. I have to go back and do something, press anything. You see?
Charger! Charger!
The same thing.
Let's go.
Charger!
I know it's the same audio file, but it has a different name, so it's not exactly the same.
Charger!
I'm going to stop it.
Charger!
And that's it. So this is how it works now. I'm sorry that that error showed up when I was recording. That's like, where's my credibility? What am I going to do now? Oh, yeah. But as you can see, it works. Yeah, that was unexpected, honestly. But well, it may be due to my not so fancy equipment. So that's all. That's how you update the bot. I'm sorry if this is too overwhelming. Take it piece by piece. Don't push yourself to do it in one shot. This didn't take me one shot. It took me some days to figure it out. But here it is. You can update your bot, and hopefully it will play for you without issues, like it did for me at the beginning. Because when I was recording, he said, I want to fail right now. All right, I can't stop you. So this was the update for the Discord bot tutorial. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I went through the analytics part of YouTube, and I say, oh my god, people is watching my videos. That's great. So thank you very much. Please, if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends or somebody who's struggling with this. They may get an idea or some motivation to not give up, right? Please leave a like, subscribe, and thank you very much. See you soon.